So episode 4 of my Hoya update video. So this here is my OG cabinet, which I believe is the Klingsbo, and this was the first one I did well over a year and a half ago. So I will now show you the beautiful babies that are in here. Hi guys, my name is Grania and this is my channel Jungle Flowers Canada. Thanks so much for joining me. So this is episode 4 of my Hoya update mini series. So today we're going to look at the plants that are in my OG cabinet, which I just showed you at the beginning of the video. So I've taken the plants out, and please excuse me because there will be some that I don't know the names of, but anything that I don't know the names of and I can find, I'll put up on the screen. So I'm not going to go in any particular order, I'm just going to grab them as they are here beside me, and we'll start with this one here. So this is the Hoya rosita, and I brought this in as a cutting I think around maybe April or May last year, and you can see that it's doing really well. I have it in my homemade pon. I will put a link in the description on how to make it. I do use a substitute for pumice, and it's very inexpensive. You buy it if you're in Canada in Canadian Tire. You can also get it from Napa if you live in the United States, and I get a big bag of it for $20, so it's way cheaper than pumice. So if you want to check that out. And my plants have, there's the proof in the pudding, there are the roots. Can you see the roots there? So the plants are absolutely loving it. Because it isn't the original pon, it doesn't have any nutrient in it. So what I use are well, in the summer I used liquid dirt. Now I'm using the nutrients for leca that I had bought. I'm not a huge leca fan, but I had bought all the nutrients for it, so that's what I'm using now. And I probably will alternate. The plan was I'd alternate between liquid dirt and the nutrients, but of course I got lazy and I've run out of mixed liquid dirt, and I just haven't got around to mixing more. So I will, once I get that set up, I will kind of alternate between the two. But you can see it's doing absolutely beautiful. The Hoya rosita. Love this little plant. So this here is the Hoya rincey. Now originally I thought, oh, maybe this isn't the rincey, because, oh, I have this backwards, that would help if I put it forward. Because I had thought that the rincey was actually variegated and speckled, but it turns out that there are a few different types. As with all Hoyas, there usually are different varieties. So this here is just the regular Hoya rincey. Again, I imported it with the rosita, so last year, or summertime we'll say, and it's doing really nicely, and it has lots of lovely roots. I still have it in this little plastic cup. I hope you can see the roots there, and you can see again it's in my homemade pon. Like the homemade pon, the plants really are loving it. It gives them a great boost, especially Hoyas. This, oh my gosh guys, wait till you see this plant. I didn't realize the leaves got so big. It is oh gosh, now I'm trying to think of the name of it. What's it called? I just put it up on Instagram like a day or two ago, but look at the size of this leaf. It's a Hoya globulosa, and there is another name for it. I can't quite remember the other name now, but it does go under 2 different names. I hope you can see it. Look at that leaf, and just take a look at the size of it. I had no idea. Sorry, hubby's in the back. Oh, can you hear him? Hubby's in the background. I had no idea the leaves got this big. I cannot believe it. I love it. I was so excited to get this plant originally, and I do need to actually give it a little clean. And I have it in these pots that my husband bought me for Christmas, and they are obviously semi-hydro pots, and there's no roots coming out yet, but it is loving it. Loving, again, it's my homemade pon in it, and I'm trying to get this to look at that. Look at this beauty, the Hoya globulosa. This one here, so if you watched my last episode, I had a Hoya that I didn't know the name of, and actually somebody put on the screen the name they thought it might be, but there are so many that are, you know, there's so many that look alike. I'm going to show this to you. It's a pretty pathetic leaf. There's nothing too exciting about it, but it's alive, and I will probably add it to the other one in my retro cabinet once it takes off. But it, you know, I've had this like nearly a year. It hasn't really done very much, but it will, in due course, it will take off. Okay, what do we have here? So here we have the Hoya erythrostema, and this has put out some new leaves, and it also, you can see there, has put out a growth point, I should say, and I may have another one of these in my cabinet. I'm not 100% sure, and I'm sure that this will sun stress. It looks like one that may sun stress. If I'm wrong, you can let me know in the description. So when I put my new shelves, if you watched my previous video where I bought some shelves from the US, they're acrylic shelves. I love them. They're absolutely beautiful. I switched out my lights. So I used to just have Costco undercover lighting, and I switched them out to some grow lights that I bought. So I'm curious to see, will my plants become sun stressed? Because the Costco lights, although they're amazing, they don't sun stress my plants. So I guess the proof will be in the pudding. We'll wait and see what happens here. So next up we have the Hoya akuta variegata. This is a little cutie pie, and it's doing really, really well. I have this over a year. I probably got this in 2020, and you can see it's doing very nicely. Let's see, again, I have it in my homemade pond. Oh yeah, look at the roots on that there. It has beautiful roots, and it's doing very nicely. I don't even have like a wick for this, look. So when I started using these little pots, I wasn't always putting wicks in them, which I probably should have. I kind of regret not doing that now, but you can see there's been no issues at all with this plant. So the Hoya akuta variegata. Okay, so next up we have the Hoya parasitica. I think it's Splash. I don't think I have a name on it, but the Hoya parasitica. And I bought this locally from a lady on Marketplace, and I think this leaf is just divine. It is so thick. Can you see how thick this leaf is? And I had a parasitica before, but it wasn't the same as this. I actually killed it. It was a large plant that I imported from Thailand. Looked great when it arrived, but it just deteriorated and eventually died. But definitely not as thick a leaf as this, but I think the leaf is just so pretty. I do need to trellis this. I'm sure you can see that it would probably appreciate a trellis. So there we have the Hoya, what did I call it? The Hoya parasitica. 2 seconds. It's like a 2-second rule of me forgetting what I was talking about. Okay, so let's put that baby up there. Okay, so here we have, what do we have? So here is the Hoya tenuba, and this is actually doing great. So I did trellis it. You can see though it's kind of a little wild, a bit like a flock of seagulls, if you knew that band. But anyway, it is a lovely plant. It's doing very well, putting out lots of roots, and you can see lots of grow points. And I'm saying lots of roots, you didn't even see the roots, but funny, I'm saying lots of roots. It obviously has lots of roots, but they're not really that visible in this pot. But we know they're there because we wouldn't be getting this growth if we didn't have roots. So it's really pretty. You can see there's a new leaf, and I'm excited to see this. I'm kind of at that point now where I'm like, what am I going to do with all of these when they get too big for my cabinets? Because I love them in my cabinets. And I guess this is a question for another day, but I will have to make a decision soon. So the Hoya tenuba. Okay, so these I don't know the names of. I will put them on the screen, and I just love them. So Paula, who I'm sure you, and by the way, if any of you watch Plants, Pots and Whatnots, it's the same Paula. She's just amazing. We all live close together. They're great girls. I don't know if you watched Nikki's last video, so we all went plant shopping to Vandermeer Nurseries here in Whitby, and then they all came back to me for tea, so we had tea and scones. But it is indeed the same Paula, and if you want to follow her, she is Paula's Plants on Instagram, Nikki is Plants, Pots and Whatnots, and Tammy is Tammy with the Good Plants on Instagram. So I should give a shout out to my girlfriends, my plant girlfriends. And we had such a lovely day shopping, and I just love my plant friends. It's great to have, like, so when you bring over friends who aren't plant people, they're kind of looking at your plants going, yeah, you say, look, I gotta show you this, isn't this fabulous? And they're like, Whereas when your plant friends come, you have so much in common that you can chat all day. So I'm just going to show them to you, and then I will put the names on the screen. But you can see I have the 3 of them in the one pot. But look at this, isn't this a cutie? I think this is my favourite. I love the variegation on it, and it has put out new leaves since she gave it to me. I actually need to put some water in it, it's quite dry. I'm going to actually water them all before I put them back in. So that is the first one that she gave me. And then this is the second, and you can see this has also put out a new leaf. Kind of a cute leaf. Look at the way the end came out. Almost like a little. It's pretending to be a fishtail. It's posing as a polyneura. There is the third one. You can see those little red leaves. So cute. So like I say, guys, I will get you the names of them. So there are, we'll just call these Paula's plants because I don't know what they are at the moment. Okay, so next up, I love this plant, and I have trouble pronouncing it all the time. So this is the sigillatis, and there is actually a YouTuber. I need to find her. She's only new. She's a relatively new YouTuber, but I came across her, and she did a video on her Hoyas, and she had this, and the leaves get huge and beautifully sun stressed. I was so excited when I watched her video because I have 2 of these, and the other one is getting quite big as well, but the leaves actually get way bigger than this, and like I say, they do sun stress. So I'm hoping that maybe we'll see it in this cabinet. The other one is in my retro cabinets, so they just have the Costco lights. So again, it's in my pond, and I don't know if you can see there, but there are some lovely roots. I do have some exciting news for you if you follow me on Instagram, which is Jungle Flowers Canada. I bought the most incredible piece of live edge wood. Now, if you've been following me, you know I have a penchant for live edge wood. I have a few pieces around my house, but I got this massive piece. It's taller than me. It's like huge, and I bought it for my greenhouse, my actual greenhouse that's built on the side of my house. And I do have plants growing up on planks. I think compliments to Caitlin from Plant Life in the Tropics. I think she started this trend, and I started off with a couple of them, but I decided I'm going to actually take them off of that, and I'm going to mount the piece of live edge in my greenhouse, and I'm going to try and get them all to grow up that so that it becomes a feature. I can do it out there because if it goes crazy, it's my greenhouse, and that's what greenhouses are for, right? So do look out for that. So I will do another little mini series on, well, it won't be a mini series, I'll probably just record over a couple of days and put it together in one video, but basically I'm going in this year to finish off my greenhouse. So here we have the Hoya Crinkle 8. There's a story. I bought this in 2018. Can you believe that? And it did absolutely nothing for like 2 years. So I put it in my homemade pond. It's hard to see, but there are some, just ever so slightly see the roots coming out of the net pot now. So it has put out some new growth. This should be a vigorous grower. I mean, this is part of the Carnosa family. This thing should be going wild, but for some reason it doesn't grow fast for me. So I'm just leaving it to do its own thing. And now that it's in pond, it has started to improve. So we'll see what happens with this as we go forward. Okay, this one I don't know the name of. And I got this in a plant trade from a girl, Catherine, who's in my plant group. And I did have it in my Fabricore cabinet, but I moved it in here. And I do have another one that I thought was the same. It's actually in the back there, I'll have to root it out. But that one, it actually has a bigger leaf, so I think they are different plants, but I will put the name on the screen of this one. While I'm here, let me get out the other one. I forgot about it actually. It's in the back here. Yeah, so this is called the coronaria. And you can see I've put it on a trellis, but look at how nice and big the leaves are getting. Isn't that so cute? Nice green leaves. So this was another import, and I love these little trellises. So I made a wish list on Amazon for my birthday. My birthday was January, and I put some of these in it, so my daughter got me 2 packs of them, and I actually really like them. I like they come with the little clips. I put a link in the description for you, and I think they're perfect for that interim stage before they get huge and you need to put them on bigger trellises. So this is the Hoya huskeliana yellow flower, and I love this, and it did flower for me. It is in my pan as well, and you can't, oh, it's dry. You can't really see the roots yet, but it did struggle a little bit, and now it's bounced right back, you can see. So this is the Hoya kerii splash, and can you see there's a new leaf coming there. So this, it looks like it has died. I'm just in, it's still a bit firm in the middle, but I'll just leave it there and see what happens. And you can see the roots are just starting to come out the bottom. I have lots of little cuttings of curtisii. I have a massive curtisii that I have out in my greenhouse. I used to have it in my kitchen, and it just literally went the whole way down my window. And then I started to kind of wrap it up. Then I thought, you know what, it was dominating the window. I had other Hoyas in there and it became too dominant. So anyway, here is the Hoya curtisii. I got my curtisii, by the way, at my local garden centre, the big one. This one I think I imported as a cutting, but I got my which wasn't that big at the time, but it literally grew like weeds. It grew like crazy. So I think that's everything, guys. No more Hoyas in there. So if you have any questions or comments, don't forget to ask below. If you watched till the end, don't forget to put the green heart emoji in the comments. And if you liked the video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. You guys take care, have a wonderful day, and hopefully I will be back again soon. Take care.